Hello, Tom Barnett here again with another story behind the illustration. Here, one where we're trying to convey both some sense of approval and apprehension. What China is doing with its Belt and Road Initiative is a good thing for the global economy and globalization in general. Once you join the club, so to speak, your next task is to extend membership, both to your benefit and to those who follow you. That's what we're trying to capture and convey with this single image, which, truth be told, was totally a Jim Nuttall creation from start to finish. The inspiration for the title is obviously Lord of the Rings, so I take the inscription from the ring and adapt it to the wording of the Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. So the ring becomes a belt, a road, and an initiative. I was particularly proud of being able to work in the in from in the darkness, substituting infrastructure. That I was really quite proud of. So fun wordplay that just popped into my skull during a long bike ride one day. Just to give you a sense of the scope of China's BRI efforts, this is the macro view of Eurasia and Africa. It's a data visualization from the book, done very nicely by Juraj Michalik and Tom Zork. China, and you're not seeing it here, is likewise very active across Latin America. Jim did not go with any of the Lord of the Rings imagery, which was smart. The title is fun enough. We didn't need to beat that any further. Instead, he came up with this fanciful image of a steamroller capable of instantly laying down a road, so speed made manifest. He also marked the steamroller's barrel with the equivalent of the Chinese dollar sign, which made me laugh, but it's a great bit. China is indeed throwing some serious money at this effort. Then in the background, there's this implied transformational effect. What was once just a quiet place along a river is now a highway down which commerce flows. So transformational, all right, but also very much humanity reshaping nature. Jim's second iteration widened the perspective, revealing that the figure on the left is some sort of local herder with a few of their animals. This really spoke to me personally. My spouse and I adopted two biological sisters, toddlers from southern Ethiopia many years ago. And when we traveled south from Addis Ababa down to Awassa, we traveled on a new highway connecting Ethiopia's capital to Kenya's Nairobi. And the entire way, we'd see young kids herding goats along the road, a task that our two new daughters were very familiar with, despite being only 2 and 3 years old. So Jim's image here felt, very real in terms of my personal experience. The Red Team Review checked out the yuan sign to make sure it didn't impinge on the Japanese yen. Both of them have variations in terms of the symbols used, and it can be a bit confusing. So we made sure we were not getting it wrong. Which gets us to the final book version, where Jim's details really sell the image as a whole. Now it's clear we're talking some sheep herder on the left being amazed at the transformational effect of this rapid road construction. And to be clear, China's Belt and Road Initiative, despite all its faults, is most definitely transformational for the nations targeted by Beijing. That road we traveled on from Addis to Nairobi, laid just a few years earlier, immediately connected Ethiopia's southern region to the wider world in a way that was inconceivable to those living there for centuries upon centuries. And that's the story behind this illustration. As always, we love it when people buy the book, when they recommend the book, when they praise the book online. I and my Throughline colleagues, we feel very passionate about this work. Please consider subscribing to my Substack newsletter. And see you next time, next illustration.